Sunday brunch at my parents' estate had always been a tradition. The kind that wasn't really optional. You showed up, smiled politely at the silverware, and pretended the eggs Benedict tasted better than they did. The long mahogany dining table gleamed under the chandelier's golden light. My father sat at the head, regal as ever, while my mother fluttered about, making sure everyone's plates were full. Selena, my older sister, sat opposite me, wearing one of her tailored white dresses that made her look like she had stepped out of a lifestyle magazine. She was everything I wasn't. Effortlessly glamorous, poised, adored. I had grown used to it, or at least, I told myself I had. The conversation was light at first. Gossip about family friends, updates on father's business ventures, mother's plans for the annual charity gala. Then my father cleared his throat. "I have an announcement to make," he said, folding his napkin with deliberate precision. The room fell quiet. My heart gave a small leap, though I didn't know why. Maybe some childish part of me expected something good for once. "As you know," he continued, "Selena has proven herself time and again. She has the discipline, the elegance, and the business acumen to carry on our family legacy. And so," he let the words hang, savoring the moment. "I've decided the mansion will be hers." Applause. Actual applause from some of the relatives at the table. Selena beamed, placing a perfectly manicured hand over her heart in a gesture of Fawkes humility. "Oh, Father," she said, "I'm honored." I stared at my plate. The food blurred. The sound of knives against porcelain became deafening. I wanted to ask what about me, but the words wouldn't come. My throat tightened. Mother gave me a gentle, almost pitying smile, as if to say, "You understand, don't you? Selena is the natural choice." I forced myself to swallow. My chest ached. As I reached for my phone under the table, anything to distract myself, a notification appeared. New email. "They're not who you think they are." My finger hovered over the screen. I excused myself from the table, muttering something about needing fresh air. My father barely glanced at me. Selena was still basking in the glow of her coronation. Outside, the crisp autumn breeze slapped my cheeks. I leaned against the stone railing of the balcony and opened the email. It wasn't spam. The message was short. Chilling. "If you think Selena deserves the mansion, you're mistaken. She's lied, she's stolen, she's forged. Check the attachments. They'll show you who she really is. And if you want justice, reply." My heart pounded as I opened the first attachment. It was a scanned property document. At the bottom, my mother's signature, except I recognized immediately it wasn't hers. She always signed with a flourish at the L. This was jagged, unnatural. Another file, a bank statement. Selena's name attached to accounts I had never heard of. Transfers, debts, secret loans. Another, a letter from a lawyer referencing a clause in the family will. It stated the mansion couldn't be transferred if there was evidence of fraud or misconduct by the heir. My head spun. Could this be real? Selena, the golden child, the one our parents adored, hiding all of this. My fingers shook as I typed a reply. "Who are you?" The response came within minutes. "Let's just say I've watched her hurt people for years. I owe her nothing but pain. And so do you." I stared at the screen, a strange mix of fear and exhilaration running through me. For the first time that day, I felt awake. Over the next week, I became someone I didn't recognize. By day, I played the obedient daughter, quiet, polite, invisible. By night, I pored over documents, making copies, highlighting inconsistencies. I contacted the anonymous sender again and again, and each time, they delivered more. Emails between Selena and a contractor she bribed, audio clips of her mocking me and manipulating our parents, even photographs of her with someone married. A scandal that would ruin her pristine social image. I hired a private investigator, though I didn't tell him why. Within days, he confirmed Selena's financial mess. Gambling debts, unpaid loans, secret investments that had failed spectacularly. The worst part, my parents knew none of it. Meanwhile, Selena strutted around the mansion as though it was already hers. She started planning renovations, dismissing staff who had worked there for decades, speaking to me in a tone that was sugar-sweet and condescending. "Don't worry, Amara," she said one evening, swirling a glass of red wine. "You'll always have a room here. You don't need the pressure of managing an estate anyway." I smiled tightly, but inside I was on fire. The anonymous sender sent me an audio recording one night. Selena's voice, clear as crystal. "She's pathetic. Amara will always be the shadow. That's why I'll win. She doesn't fight back." I replayed it again and again, my blood boiling. She thought I wouldn't fight. She was wrong. The next family gathering came sooner than I expected. A dinner this time, formal, with relatives, lawyers, and even some of Father's business associates present. Selena wore a gown that shimmered like liquid gold, ready to bask in more admiration. But I was ready too. When the glasses were filled and the first toast was made, I rose from my chair. My hands didn't shake. My voice was calm. "I have something to share," I said. Confused glances. Selena's smirk. My father's frown. I connected my laptop to the projector in the dining room, and then I let the evidence speak. First, the forged signatures. Gasps rippled through the room. Then the bank statements, the debts, the hidden accounts. Murmurs grew louder. Finally, the audio recording. Selena's voice calling me pathetic. The silence afterward was suffocating. Selena's face drained of color. She stood trembling with fury. "This is ridiculous! Lies! Fabrications!" But the documents bore her name. The voices were hers. The pattern was undeniable. Father slammed his fist on the table. "Nuff!" His voice cracked with something I had never heard before. Betrayal. Mother's eyes filled with tears. Selena's mask shattered. She screamed, cursed, tried to twist the blame onto me. But the more she raged, the clearer it became to everyone that she was guilty. Within weeks, the lawyers re-examined the will. The hidden clause was invoked. The mansion was stripped from Selena's claim and transferred to me. She moved out in disgrace, her reputation shredded. Whispers followed her wherever she went. As for me, I stood in the grand hall of the mansion one evening, the anonymous sender's last message still fresh in my mind. Justice tastes sweeter when it's shared. We agreed to meet. It turned out the sender was someone Selena had betrayed years ago. A former business partner she had ruined with her lies. He had been waiting for the right moment to strike, and I had been the perfect ally. I didn't feel triumphant. Not entirely. There was no joy in watching my sister fall. Only a deep, aching relief. I hadn't just won the mansion. I had reclaimed myself. And this time, I wasn't the shadow.